Hey guys, it's Andrew. I'm stopped just outside of Triton, and as you can tell from the sign behind me, I'm thinking about whales. Been thinking about whales a lot lately, and primarily because I lost my hat. My whale hat is gone. I have no, well, I shouldn't say I have no idea. Look, I lost it somewhere between St. John's and Deer Lake. I lost it last Thursday night, so if anybody has seen a really nice little grey wool hat with whales all around the ribbon, kindly return it. You can find me online. Anybody can point you in the right direction, but I love that hat, right? And I think I love that hat so much because it gave me a sense of strength. And when I say strength, I think it was derived from a source of knowledge and a comfort. Like I've often said, guys, when you come to Newfoundland to get perspective. And the whales on my hat remind me that as dire as things appear, or as terrible as our media would like to present whatever fear factor they're working on this week, the whales remind me that things are never as bad as what they seem. Right? I often remind my children, so this entire week, by the way, I've made my way over to the West Coast. We're hearing so much about climate change. And I know, look, it's perhaps some sort of a post-COVID thing. I'm not certain. But, there's been a build-up to it. And again, when it comes to climate change, when you're in Newfoundland, all right, you get a different perspective. Of course there's climate change. Right? All you got to do is look around Newfoundland, look at the geology, look at the rocks, right? Sedimentary rocks standing straight upright, right? Our continents are moving. You know that has to be affecting the climate, right? But when it comes to hydrocarbons, I love to remind my children, right? You know who really likes hydrocarbons? Whales. Whales and seals and all of those other animals that we would at one time, before we had hydrocarbons, we would render them into oils. The Bass said that they lit the lamps of Europe for hundreds of years using whale oil that they rendered off the coast of Newfoundland. Can you believe that whale oil at one point became so dear? As the Bass said, I think we have visited the whale once too often. The whales became scarce. The price of oil at one point it went to the equivalent now, $9,000 a barrel. $9,000 a barrel. And guys, when it gets to $9,000 a barrel, you start looking for alternatives. One of my favorite stories when I first moved away to Vancouver, that flight to Vancouver in 2005. July 1st, 2005, I had a copy of National Geographic to read on the flight out. Right, I think it may have been left in the seat pocket in front of me. But the cover, I don't know if it was current or if it was outdated or what have you, but the current of that magazine was peak oil. Right, and I read through and I'm looking at it and I'm like, really? Right, I mean, what they were basically at that time, I mean, again, this is only 2005. What they were suggesting is that we had discovered all the world's oil. There was no more left. We were using it, and it was going to spiral downwards. Right, you wonder how we end up with some of the projects that we're dealing with today because, and again, some of the mentality. It's only 2005, and we were suggesting we were running out of oil. Right? My argument at that time was, really? How can you possibly talk about peak oil unless you're going to remove man from the equation? Right? Man's ability to design, to invent, to create, to explore, to find new sources. Not only new sources of oil, which, by the way, they have, right? And I hate to be the one that tells you this, but it's called shale energy. And there's a lot of it. Right? What is it? They say there's over 1,000 tons or 100 tons. Anyway, it's some ridiculous amount of oil now in situ, now in reserve in the United States than has ever been used by man. Right? Can you think about that? Excuse me. We have discovered a new source of oil, but guys, just like the whales, right? When we were pushed to that brink, right? When we switched from whale oil to hydrocarbons, We will make another energy transition. I am convinced of that. Right? Just look at our history. And that's one of the beautiful things about history, is why history is so important, is why you come to Newfoundland, for perspective. Don't be afraid. Have faith in our ability. Have faith in what's going to come. That doesn't mean we go willy-nilly. Obviously not. No, we have to be responsible with how we look for resources, how we extract resources, how we use our resources. But at the same time, it's not an excuse for us to be afraid, right? And certainly not an excuse for us to allow people to make us afraid. It's nothing to be afraid of. Just like the whales, boys, they're back. All right, come to Newfoundland. You want perspective? Come here this summer. You will see thousands and thousands and thousands of whales. So many different species. It's one of the best whale watching places on in the entire planet. But in the meantime, well, if you see my whale hat, send it my way. In the meantime, find some comfort in what's going on in your own world. Find some comfort in knowing that things will get better. They always do, regardless of whether it's COVID, right? Whether it's climate change, right? We have the ability. Look at how quickly we invented the vaccines. They said that was impossible. And now we're talking about vaccines and people getting vaccinated. I was talking to friends in the States, everybody, right? A friend of mine in Gander got vaccinated yesterday. Have faith, guys. Don't let them make you afraid, right? Live your lives. Get out. Put a smile on your face. I hope this message works for you. I hope somebody finds my hat and sends it to me. And I look forward to keeping these messages coming and hopefully keeping you in good cheer, good spirit. Thanks so much, guys.